Okay, okay, we need a motion to reconvene into open session. Jane, and second, Eric, all in favor? That's carried. We need to move fairly quickly here because Kristen tells us we're running out of steam, and I think we all are running out of steam. It's been a long day. But anyway, let's move on to the environmental. And the 4 items that are here, there's no tax. Yeah, I'll just finish my comment. There's no tax impact. It's just what I was going to say. Anyway, go ahead, Eric.
All right, I just want to go back to the previous motion that we just passed, just to get some further clarification, because in the considerations, it's under the Green Municipal Fund, and in the recommendations in Nancy's report, it's under the free tree giveaway. Can you re-explain, Mike, for clarification, your intent?
Yeah, we have $1,500 for the tree giveaway, which we buy trees with that we're going to give away each season. It seems to buy less and less trees every year because the price keeps going up. But at the end of the giveaway, we always have trees left over. Now, the Greener Tree Fund does not allow you to reallocate your $1,500 from the tree giveaway to the Greener Tree Fund because it's already been in your budget. So I was looking for $500, and I talked to Jeff about this, and I hope he was in agreement because we seem to, anyways, that what Quinty did last year with the trees they had left over, they planted them in bigger peat pots, individual trees, and then staff watered them over the summertime. And in the fall, they actually sold a bunch of them, and the rest of them they did in municipal parks or in the conservation authority parks that they own. They planted the trees. Theory is the trees don't need as much water in the fall, and that's usually the biggest cause of death amongst these little trees. Is people water them for the first week or two and then don't water them and they die, or somebody runs over them with the lawnmower. Now, we've put trees in before, but I think the problem is probably 70% of them got run over by lawnmowers because they were on the edge of the grass areas. But if we take bigger trees and Jeff and his crew take care of them, they'll know where they're planting them, they'll know what's there, and maybe we can have replacement of a lot of the trees that are dying in the municipality because all the ash are pretty well done. They're all falling down. I know up our way they are anyways. So we do need some trees, and it'd be a way to participate in the fund because Quinty is looking for a total of $50,000 amalgamated together to qualify for this grant. So what they're doing is taking everybody's money, putting it in a pool. They come up with the $50,000, they'll apply for the grant, which will then double to $100,000. So instead of $500, we'll get $1,000 back to buy trees and do whatever we want. That was the theory behind it.
Okay, thanks, Mike. I don't know what you want to do with this, what we can legally do with it. Go ahead, Ron.
I just wondered if, I just like to hear Jeff's opinion. He's gonna be doing the work. What's his opinion on this?
So just a minute, Kristen. This isn't a motion. This is just a discussion, right? So can we go ahead and do that? Okay.
Through the chair to Councillor Derry, I believe my staff, we have the capabilities to do what we can with our time to put towards this resource. It all depends on how many trees are left over and that sort of thing, but providing this $500 in support would at least allow us to make our best effort to let these trees grow and get beyond their size at purchase. And it's definitely a plan that I need to think more about as far as their location for us to nurture these trees. It is something that we're willing to take on. Not sure what the amount of resources we can put into it are at this time.
So at the end of the day, when the trees are bigger, Do you have location identified where they can go?
I do have, in passing, I have 5 to 10 locations in mind. Yes,
So it's doable.
it is doable. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Eric.
But so if the $500 is going towards trees, there'll still be additional costs because then you need to purchase buckets and whatever soil you're gonna use to nurture these trees in. Is that correct?
No,
Good.
that's not correct. The trees will be the leftover trees that we have from the tree giveaway.
And what are we putting the leftover trees in?
In buckets, well, it won't be in buckets, but they'll be in like peat pots or things like that. That's what the $500 is basically for, to
They-
buy the buckets and the whatever else, the soil that we need to fill them with.
So the $500 is not going towards trees, it's going to the buckets and I'm just trying to get clarification.
I know. We're gonna have to take the trees that are left over, because we always have a lot of trees left over from the tree giveaway. And usually Parks Department takes and plants the little ones or whatever they do with them. But like I say, the mortality rate on those is extremely high. So this way, if we put them in the buckets and grow them, if we have a lot left over, we could probably sell them and recoup a little bit of our money and get them planted in the municipality. But if not, if Jeff's got places to put them, they will now be of a size that they'll be easier to identify as trees and they won't get run over. Also, they'll be past the stage where they need a lot of care, because the fall is a better time to plant trees anyways. And it'll help us out in the parks or wherever Jeff has got a need for the trees to go. So it's only $500 investment over on top of what we're spending on the trees already.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, and
So-
then if if Quinty doesn't hit their $50,000 goal through the partners that they're trying to bring on this program, then that will just go into reserves, I guess.
Well, no, we can just use $500 of our own money, the $500 we're going to do, and just do whatever that covers. And unfortunately, any trees that are in excess of that will either have to get planted as is or we'll lose them.
Okay, thanks, Mike. So I don't think that changes the decision. I think just it provided clarification to how the allocation of the money. So moving on to environmental, there's 4 items. And I just want to note that there's no levy impact on these items. Does anyone want to speak to any of the items, any of the 4 items? No? Ron?
Maybe Kayla would like to talk about them, what she'd like to see down here. I don't know. I don't know much about it. Maybe she can weigh in on it and tell us. what
Or
we need
Nancy,
done.
you've got your mic on. Do you want to?
Through the chair to Councillor Derry. These items are considerations for council to know, of work that is coming up that needs to be done. We've currently put a plan in place to get some reserves so that we can do these projects. But this is kind of like a heads up to council to say, hey, these are the things that are on the AMP and things that we need to build reserves up to pay for.
Thanks, Nancy. Any questions? Go ahead, Eric.
Number 4 on the list has a note grant application. Has a grant application been submitted for that project?
Not yet, no.
But that is the plan on that project.
Kayla's nodding yes.
Yeah, sorry, through the chair to Councillor Day. Yeah, that's the plan, is to apply for grants, but we, like I said, need to build up our reserves before we can do that so that we can cover our costs.
Okay, so any other comments on the considerations in general? Okay, being none, we don't need a motion or anything further. Kristen, on that, thanks. Sorry? Page 50. Oh, go back to page 58. So you want to do that before Um. No, where am I? Give me a minute here. I got too many stacks of paper.
Kristen, is that 58 of the budget or 58 of
Can
the
you share
packet?
that with me? I don't know what I did with page 58. Can I get one from, thanks. Okay. So we did the bridge reserves, right? Right, Ron? Okay. Uh, uh. Okay, and, we did the, Highway 14 as well, right? We've done. I'm trying to remember, we didn't make a recommendation under the other one, did we? We just said we weren't going to consider it, right? So, the recommendation is that council begin and contribute to a reserve for Highway 14 rehabilitation. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that, or do we need that? Oh, okay. 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 And it was for $95,000. So anyone prepared to make a recommendation on that? Jane?
I would like to make a motion that the council begin and contribute to a reserve for Highway 14 rehabilitation in the amount of 95,000.
Get a seconder for that? Second? No seconders, so that fails. Oh, Mike, were you seconding that?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So there's a seconder. Any further discussion on that? So I'll call it to a vote. All in favor? You voting, Jane? Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, so that motion failed. The next one is that council directs staff to proceed with an environmental assessment or engineering design that would increase opportunities for available grants for environmental services, transportation services, and or other departments. I have a mover and a or does anybody want to make a motion to that effect? Jane?
I would like to make a motion because I just want to hear about it. So I would make a motion that the council direct staff to proceed with an environmental assessment and or an engineering design, increase opportunities for available grants for environmental services, transportation services, and or other departments.
Is there a seconder for that motion?
Oh, we are.
Right, are you seconding it? Mike?
No, I'm just trying.
Okay.
I'm trying to find where we're at because I'm lost.
Page 58 of 130. Don't feel bad, so was I.
Well, I had the other two on Highway 14 and all that, and then I lost where this next one is. Just a minute.
It's right below it in the report. It's Nancy's report. That we remember we were dealing with it and then we went ahead and did the departmental things and now we're back to that. Yeah, we talked about it already, yeah. So Jane has moved it. Is there a seconder? Okay, being none, that motion failed. The next Parks and Recreation, that council reallocate the tennis. We did that one already, right? We don't need to do that again. That council increase the amount placed into reserves for future fire truck. We did that already too, did we not? Economic development, that council increased the tree giveaway budget for $500, and we did that already, right?
No, no, we didn't.
Yeah, that was, sorry, Jane. That was the $500 that, I just finished talking about.
So do we need them? Are we okay with that, Kristen, or we're, okay? So I think that's it as far as Nancy's. Go ahead, Nancy.
I just wanted to point out that we haven't actually dealt with the fire one. This is an additional 50,000 that's recommended. There's $50,000 in the operational budget that is already
Oh,
part of
okay.
this is an additional to go towards fire truck, that it's just a consideration for council if they want to put more money into reserves. And someone would have to make a motion.
Does anybody care to make a motion on that? Being none, I guess that's it. Anything else that? So we're done with that portion of the agenda. Kristen, there's nothing else you need? Yes.
Do we still have the fairgrounds to consider at the very, very end?
Sorry, Mike.
At the very, very end, there was the fairgrounds consideration.
Oh,
Right.
right. Yeah, you're right. And that consideration was that council defer the request from the Marlborough Agricultural Society for financial support from the municipality for the 2026 Marlborough Fair. We did that already, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
And I guess just the only other thing was the organization chart, and I assume that's just there for information, Nancy? And John, there's no further, okay. So now are we on track to go to the next, to the recommendation, Nancy's recommendation? So this is the approval of the 2026 proposed budget. And maybe just before we get going on this, Nancy, maybe you could just give us the final number that you're at this point.
We are still at 5.77.
5.77, okay? So just so everybody knows where we're going. So the recommendation is that the 2026 operating and capital budget and all revenues and expenditures, fees and contributions to reserve funds included in the budget be adopted as amended, that any surplus or deficit in the winter control budget at year end be transferred to or funded from the winter control reserve, subject to overall year end position. And further, that the municipal treasurer and or CAO be authorized to make year end adjustments to the year end surplus to and from reserves and to and from various capital allocations to a maximum of $25,000 in order to properly manage the annual surplus, maximize reserve balances, and fully fund capital expenditures. Can I have a mover and a seconder for that motion, please? Jane, second. Mike? Any comments, questions? Go ahead, Jane.
So I have a question, and it's just the wording, and I realize that this is probably cut and paste. So in the final paragraph, and to make year-end adjustments to the year-end surplus to and from reserves, how do you make adjustments from reserves when you have a surplus? I don't understand that statement.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Councillor Lactos, I think it's just the way it's worded. It probably should say just to reserves.
Okay. Can I make, do we have to let that motion go through, or can I make a friendly amendment? I do that. Thank you.
And I need clarification on that. Because to me, you can make the contribution to the reserve, or you can take amount out of the reserve. So I think the wording is actually correct.
Yeah, through the chair to council. It is a little bit confusing. If you have a surplus, it goes into reserves.
Yeah.
If you have a deficit, it would come out of
Come out of
reserves.
reserve.
Yeah.
So to and from, I think is accurate.
It's referencing a surplus.
Oh, okay.
It's not talking about a deficit
It's not
there.
talking about a deficit
No.
then. Okay, okay, I get it. Okay, so, do we have to? Yeah, we have to vote on the amendment first, right? Yeah, we need a seconder. So Jane has made an amendment second. Can I get a seconder? Eric? Any comments? So I'll call to a vote, all in favor? That's carried. Now on the original motion, we have a mover and a seconder. Any further discussion? All in favor? Can I call that again? Because I don't know if I saw everybody's hand. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Bylaw number 2026-16 user fee bylaw. The recommendation is that bylaw 2026-16 being a bylaw to establish user fees within the municipality of Marmarin Lake be read and passed the 17th day of March 2026. Is that's not right, is it? This isn't the 17th, right?
Nope, it's the 12th.
Well,
And it's also as amended.
okay, as amended. Mover and a seconder, please. Eric, second. Jane, further discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Confirming bylaw number 2026-17, that bylaw 2026-17 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the special regular meeting of council held the 12th day of March 2026 be read and passed this 12th day of March 2026. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Jane, second. Mike, all in favor? That's carried. Need a motion to adjourn, Ron. Second. Jane. We now have the approved 2026 municipal budget at a rate of 5.77. Am I correct? Thank you. And a huge thank you to staff. Your reports were good and you explained things well. And thank you.